Alright, y'all, let's pray. Dear Lord, I pray that everyone watching this video will reveal something that someone may not understand it. Even if some people want to turn the video off because they don't understand the point of any of these assumptions. Hello fellow agents, my name's Agent B, and if you couldn't tell from that intro, I am indeed a Christian. Yeah, go ahead, nail me to a cross, put a crown of thorns atop my head. Look, that doesn't mean that I'm all that kind of a person that pushes people into uncomfortable positions because they don't want to talk about religion, Christianity, and the like. I am not that kind of person. But I am not afraid to say that I am a Christian, despite me not completely acting like one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can be nice, but I can be, how you say, disingenuous. Now then, why am I saying this stuff? Because there is a bit of a misconception when it comes to how Christianity is projected towards non-Christians and the like. So I wanted to make a video about 5 assumptions that people have about Christianity. Mind you, I tried to look up assumptions before online and came up completely empty-handed. So I had to come up with these assumptions based off of what I figured that people would say or assume. So if you have any assumptions at all, feel free to let me know in the comments because all of these assumptions are a bit much. Alright, let's see here. Wait a minute. I don't wear glasses. Number 1. All Christians are perfect and can do no wrong. Well, isn't this one way to start an assumptions video, isn't it? I'll say this once and I will not say it again. No one on this earth in any way is any kind of perfect in any way. The only person on earth that was perfect and is perfect is, of course, Jesus Christ. No one besides him is perfect. So why do we as a society have to have the perception that if Christians are supposed to be like Christ, then Christians are supposed to be perfect? Well, the answer is simple. Christ does command it in his word. So why in the world are we still not like him? Simple. We are made flesh, and flesh is holding us back. We want things of this world, and not of God, but really it's more of man. And that is the reason why Christians are not perfect, because we are so trained from a young age to love things of this world. Alright. What's next? Oh boy, this is gonna be a hard one. Number 2. An atheist is a person who cannot be a Christian. There is no guarantee that an atheist can convert from a non-believer to a high-spirited believer. But the best thing that you can do is just be their friend. Believe me, I know at least one person who is indeed an atheist. That doesn't mean you shouldn't at least try to talk to them about Christ, because something is better than nothing, right? However, it may be going from one ear out the other, depending on how deep they are in their atheism. In fact, being friendly rather than being assertive is better in the long run because the likelihood of them listening to you about Christ would increase rather than being pushy about it. Okay, I know that was a bit of a mouthful, so what's the next assumption? Well, the next assumption is actually 2 assumptions that can be broken down into one point. Number 3. Christians are boring and don't have very interesting interest. And number 4. Christians can't like certain things. First of all, how dare you make that assumption? And second, what makes you think that we can't enjoy certain aspects of life? Life can be a beautiful thing if you just look at it like that, even if there are different things that can entice you in life. You want an example? I am a big nerd. I like superhero movies. I like anime, video games, art, and anything else in life. I do also like certain sports, like softball. And don't get me started on that. Unfortunately, that leads me to another point. People think that they're all Bible studies, cooking food, and scolding others for doing stuff that are not Christian-like. The point is, there are multiple interests that people can have, especially ones that you may not expect. So why this assumption that we as Christians can't have certain pastimes? And unfortunately, this leads me into my final point of this video. Number 5. Christians judge too much. And unfortunately, this last topic is a high staking point for people that think, hey, I probably shouldn't go to church because I don't know how people are going to react to me. It seems more and more the church is not really about God, but rather is used for someone else's problems. And by that, of course, I mean gossip. Yeah? If there's one thing that the church seems to be more and more good at, is going to church for the wrong reasons. People continuously use this place as a front to cause more harm than necessary. Why? Because they want to. Ugh. Why in the world are we using the church as a front for harming people? Because their lives may not be as good as others are led to believe. I know I'm a fine one to talk, because as many of you know, I can be very opinionated. But I have my reasons. In the case of the church, there is really no reason or excuse to act like this. Imagine if the person in question is trying to find themselves in a church to call home. Now, imagine that person has a nasty rumor that's attached to them that is so unbelievably awful that it spreads quickly like a wildfire. Now, if that rumor gets into the church and the church begins to talk about it behind the person's back, chances are that that person will not get the power of Christ that they desperately need and will be lost for eternity. Well, wow. That was a mouthful, and this is only the beginning. I may not do another Christian-related video for a good long while, but I needed to get like a baseline for these videos, so I know where I'm going from here. So as always, thank you all for watching, and as always, stay awesome.